going on, guys? Smarty here. You know, sometimes there is a moment when you're playing a game, or a game in general, that sticks in your head and in your heart, and it is one of those things that impacts you in such a way based on an experience you had, or based on a moment in a game, and I kind of just wanted to talk about that today, because I can distinctly think of 3 moments in time where a game has impacted me in such a way that it's like stuck with me forever. So I figured, why don't we dive into this video talking about my favorite gaming experiences. This was my childhood. I love that beep. It doesn't get any better than that, honestly. I may talk about how Pokemon Gold is like one of my favorite games, Heart Gold specifically, but if it wasn't for Pokemon Red or Blue, I would not be into video gaming like I am today, because those games in themselves were some of the most influential fucking games I've ever played. Now, if you don't know what Pokemon is, how the fuck are you existing right now? Because that is a game that spans generations and is able to cross the generational gap. Because there are kids who play the games, and then there are adults like us who play Pokemon as well, and remember the old games back when it was just pixels rather than these awesome graphics. This game was just fun to experience with friends, because a lot of the time spent playing this game was trading with other friends who had Pokemon that you wanted, or like battling friends to see who had the better team, and you would get salty and make a new team just to try and kick their ass based on their fucking level. Huh, so Timmy has a half electric, half fire team. Go all water. I do have to admit, though, there was one moment involved in my history with Pokemon that I never like to remember. When I was younger, I had Pokemon Blue, and I had all 151 Pokemon. I had completed every single thing you could complete. It was like the one game that I really got invested into and spent all of my time playing. And it was the last day of school, and I had left after like spending time with a bunch of friends playing Pokemon and completing some stuff that we were just playing around with. And I got home and my cartridge was gone. My Pokemon Blue cartridge was gone, and I was just crushed. We went back to the school. It was lost forever to the ether. I assume some kid stole it, and frankly it's just one of those moments that like, it's soul crushing to remember that fact that you had done all of this work in a game and it was just ripped from your fucking hands. And it doesn't help now that the original Pokemon Red version I have, the internal battery is gone, so it's now just new game forever. However, that is why I love technology so much. Oh, my fucking childhood! So the next game, or games rather, because these 2 games kind of put a major stamp on the rest of my life when it comes to gaming, and that would be Halo 2 and 3. Now, the reason I say that is because Halo 2 introduced me to the idea of an online community, and the concept of, oh, you can play with people online and get to know them all over the world. This is fucking amazing. And then furthermore, it introduced me to the concept of machinima, and basically making movies through video games. That's where I learned about Red vs. Blue. That's where I got into my first Machinima clan, Happy Hour Films, one of the most prominent ones that I remember at least. Aside from Machinima and stuff like that, everything I loved about it was online multiplayer. The random games we would play, Capture the Flag, all of the mini games we would play like The Floor is Lava, Juggernaut, any of those sort of games that just allowed me to be up at like 1 in the morning laughing my ass off was just a treat. Halo 3 extended upon everything that I've talked about in regards to my experiences with gaming, because they allowed a lot more to be done, like with Forge mode, theater mode. All of this stuff basically made the Halo multiplayer experience so much better for me that I will never forget that. Halo 3 is where I honed my craft when it came to machinima, and I released stuff like Bob and Phil, Jack Walters. I would love to go back and do a Halo machinima again. I'm tapped out of ideas, to be honest with you. Maybe one day I'll go back onto the Master Chief Collection and I'll do something. I don't know. It would be fun though. So last but not least on the gaming experience list, I have one game I was on Facebook the other day, and I had a slew of memories come back. It was basically my experience with BioShock Infinite. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Really? BioShock Infinite? BioShock Infinite was one hell of a fucking game. It was one of those games that, like, I remember exactly being in the headspace of, this is oddly peaceful. How it's presented when you first enter Columbia, it's almost as if you're entering heaven in itself, and it gets stranger from there. Basically, the story it told of Booker DeWitt trying to find Elizabeth and all of the twists and turns that it takes, that game in itself was magical. And I wish that Irrational Games was still around because they did one hell of a job. Ken Levine is the fucking man, and I refuse to believe otherwise. That game mainly comes down to me at 4 in the morning trying to acknowledge and rationalize the ending of the game, because that game fucking throws you for a loop in probably one of the best twists I've ever experienced in quite a long time. Like, it legitimately fucked me up, because, like, I remember afterwards going to work and me and my friend were talking about it for shifts on end, trying to rationalize BioShock Infinite's story, what they can do, knowing that there's alternate universes, and the fact that Rapture is one of them, Columbia is one of them. Could they do, like, a sun universe? What elements could they do to make a new BioShock Infinite, and what games could they create based on this? It's an endless machine of just possibility, and I love it. I love that game. I know a lot of people will say that BioShock Infinite is one of those games that just, oh, it's just a rehash of BioShock in itself. Fuck you, it's an awesome game. It's basically, it takes all of the elements of the old games and just kind of gives it its own flair, which is cool. I love that. I honestly just want to say that if you ever pick up BioShock Infinite, just skip past the part that I said before. I want you to go in enjoying it and having a fun time. If I could go back in time and experience one game fully blind with no issue whatsoever, it would be BioShock Infinite. I know I've said before I'd want to experience Shadow of the Colossus, but I'd rather experience Infinite more. So with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't usually post random stuff like this, but I thought it would be fun to kind of just talk about my favorite gaming experiences or something like that for a bit. Let me know in the comments what gaming experiences got you and what games really impacted you when you were younger or in more recent times. I'm curious what you guys have to offer and what games influenced you. Anyway, with that said, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. What's up, guys? Smarty here. Thank you for watching this video. I just wanted to take the time really quick to thank the patrons who helped make this video possible. Special thanks to Doc Ryder, The Lazy Leo, Jay Peavy, Han Donnelly, Lady Vader, Dustin DeRochambeau, Jared Schmidt, and Blaze Chris, you Australian motherfucker, you. If any of you guys want to be on this list, or if you just want any of the perks in general, go ahead and click the Patreon link and pledge however much you see fit. And on top of that, if you guys want one of these sick shirts, go ahead and check out the Teespring store I just opened. We've got a whole bunch of cool merchandise over there. I think you guys will love it. Anyway, with that said, I'll talk to you guys later. This is Smarty, signing off. Have a good one.